Hello, my name is Adrian and this is my assignment for EDFD546. The focus of today's video is to talk about constructivism and the role that the teaching style plays in today's education. So the first question I'd ask is, what is constructivism? According to University of Sydney, 2018, constructivism is a learning theory found in psychology which explains how individuals acquire knowledge and how they learn. Therefore, there is a strong link that constructivism plays a role in education. Two theorists who link their theories to constructivism is Piaget and Vygotsky. So in the book Constructivism in Education, Gale, 1995, reminds us about a radical constructivism and how it is embedded in Piaget's theory and dealing with how individuals gain knowledge, practicality of an individual, and the impossibility of knowing a real world outside of who we are as experienced learners. Piaget shows a lot of links to cognitive learning, and that is where constructivism plays a role in Piaget's theory, whereas Vygotsky states that knowledge is co-constructed and learners learn off one another, so a lot of social activity, which is three ICT tools that I will be speaking about today. When we learn something new, or we put forward new content, we must learn from what we have already delivered. So what's worked, what didn't work, then on top of that, we need to act upon that, while linking this information with our effective teaching style that we individually have. This comes with experience, and as a student, as well as a pre-service teacher, I feel as if this has been growing with me, from placement to placement, allowing myself to learn of what worked and gaining advice from those who have a lot more experience, so my mentors, and acting upon the advice provided. To help us do this, we must give ourselves feedback and reflect on our teaching, find more resources, different types of activities. But one important thing that I believe is ask the students if they found the activity interesting. These techniques will benefit our learning to provide an effective teaching style. In the classroom, the constructivist view of learning can point towards several different teaching practices. This aim is to get students actively listening and engaging with different techniques that spread and range their knowledge and being able to reflect on their own practices. So students who respond to feedback in a positive manner actually find it a lot easier to respond to constructivism. This is because it allows for teachers to provide constructive feedback for students to take away and fix their mistakes, make improvements to their learning. When students respond to themselves, they tend to become better learners and gain information in a positive manner. By questioning what works for them and the most beneficial learning technique for themselves, this also gives the teacher an idea on how each student learns and ways that activities can be created to cater for all students. So one example, when I was on placement, I had a bunch of Year 10s. I taught by using PowerPoints, but also printed off different worksheets or same content delivered in different ways because I knew some students prefer to highlight, as that's their better way to learn. So by catering for all students, you're actually helping one another. One key learning tool that allows students to participate and feel engaged is the use of ICT. So ICT allows students to be a part of an activity and takes their mind away from reading big chunks of writing, as well as they see it as a type of game or a cooler way to brainstorm. Three ICT tools that I will be speaking about today is a brainstorming activity such as Menti, a quiz activity well known as Kahoot, but also the use of Google Docs and how they play an important part in learning. Firstly, the first one we're going to be speaking about is Menti. So Menti is an interactive presentation tool that enables teachers to create different activities for students to participate on tablets, laptops, or even their phone. So it's very accessible to the students. Teachers can ask questions, create different polls, make quizzes, create slideshows, use of images and GIFs, and all sorts of different examples to create a fun and engaging presentation. When presenting, students use their devices to connect to the presentation via a code. Menti allows for further analysis to be considered, allowing for teachers to see what students have written and what has been answered. Personally, I believe Menti is very engaging and allows for students to want to participate. By getting students to participate, it allows for a beginning towards their learning. Menti allows for brainstorming in a cooler and different kind of way. One type of brainstorming that I want to show that Menti offers is word cloud. So with word cloud, as you can see here, teacher will ask a question and students are able to access by their laptops different types of answers. No one can see their answers, they just start coming up and answering. So it's very engaging, very colourful as you can see, and it's a great brainstorming activity because students see their answers coming up, they want to contribute more. Another different type of way that this can be used through Menti is open-ended. So open-ended is an activity that I would use as exit slips. So it allows students to walk out and tell you what they learned today, or asking different types of questions that you know that you may want to answer at that time. Very effective for students as they might not have the confidence to ask these questions. None of their writing or name comes up, so you can actually see what wants to be asked to help you for the next lesson, or if you want to answer it then. So this caters for all diverse learners and meeting all different types of learning styles. So with the word cloud, very visual. As you can see what is happening. Auditory, so I like to ask the question so students can hear, as well as reading out answers. So some answers may help other students to contribute, or they actually might take that and use that as a resource. As well as kinesthetic. So kinesthetic, it's a very engaging activity, allowing for those learners who want to participate. By contributing, they are creating and taking upon their answers by contributing to the activity. So just want to link this to constructivism. So for example, let's say if we split students into groups, they must work in groups and create a concept map using Menti, as you can use concept maps within the activity. So as they are doing so, students are learning to learn as they are already learning. So this means that when a student is learning by creating a concept map based on their ideas from the content and their experiences, the student is not only learning the specific content, but they are also learning about all other experiences that they are linking to the given content. As we can see, this is a key link to the learning style of constructivism, and according to many social constructivists, learning is a social activity. Speaking of social activity, now going to turn to our next one, is Kahoot. So create, host, and play. Very quick and easy ICT tool that can help introduce a topic or even revision of the content. It only takes minutes to create, and a game or trivia on any topic in any language. The reason why I've underlined this is because we're catering for those international students. So you might have a couple of international students who have come into the class. You can create the same quiz in a different language for those. So you're actually seeing assessment for them to see if they're getting the right answers still. Questions come up on a big screen, and students connect via their devices to the quiz via a pin. As we can see here, we have a question. Students will see those answers as well as answering on their devices. The correct answer will be given and a percentage of how many people got it right. Student gain points based on getting questions right, as well as how fast they get it correct. A leaderboard is shown for the top 5 and enables students to bring their competitiveness and try to get the right answer. Teacher is to give them the results overall and see who got what wrong. So they're given a database at the end. This allows for, once again, feedback, so one-on-one with the student, but also the teacher if they're delivering the right content. Once again, all learning styles are being catered for. Visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, very similar. Very colourful visuals, and you can see what's being asked. Auditory, the question is actually being asked, as well as I deliver the answers so they can hear that and can put in that answer that they believe, as well as kinesthetic. They're participating, they're acting upon their activity, and they're completing the work. So as I said, we're catering for all of those learning styles. Google Docs. Google Docs are a document that is online using ICT. Very good for group work. Students contribute the same way document over numerous devices. This is a collaborative way to get students to participate in group work, and I find this very effective as students are more aware of ICT today and believe that they are working on an electronic device, they actually get more out of it. This is an effective learning tool as students use this for presentations or group work, but very effective for research tasks as students can use this as a resource for the future. This links to constructivism as it is a learning theory that correlates with psychology, which is explaining how individuals acquire knowledge and how they learn. This enables for students to learn together in a social activity, so we're linking to that definition provided in the earlier slide. Students are using their research to construct their ideas and experience to achieve a task. Once again, another critical link to constructivism. Overall, I believe that all three ICT tools are effective and ways to teach, and I've used them all three on my teaching rounds. I believe Menti and Google Docs are very effective for year 9s and 10s. However, I also believe Kahoot is more engaging for students in the lower year levels. Thank you for listening to my presentation.